Hey everybody, Brian Good here. Kind of a late day blog. This is not really going to be a storm talk because there's no storms to really talk about. Surprise, surprise. So we're almost to snow talk, guys. Only, 15, 16, 17 days, something like that, before we switch the title over. For you Bots fans who are just waiting for the title to change. Alright, beautiful weather today, 71. Do want to mention, though, that tonight, as temperatures fall, here in the city, the urban heat island effect usually keeps us a little milder, so we may see 46 to 48, the average here in the metro, but notice that a couple of spots here trying to get into the upper 30s, even Lebanon's not far from it at 40, as well as Corden. I wouldn't rule out tonight that some areas could see some patchy frost. Very, very isolated. If you do, send us a picture of it tomorrow morning. It's not going to be enough for an advisory, the way it's looking, but some valleys that are sheltered especially wouldn't surprise me at all. Alright, so it's going to be a cold night for some. Here in the city, though, cooler night, but nothing off the chain and not frostworthy. Alright, reason why, again, it's going to drop off is because the wind's now a little breezy, though. Slacking off tonight, though. We got a clear sky overhead. Most eastern half of the country is nice and quiet. All the action has been all around it. It's pretty active in the Pacific, thanks to El Nino. And then, of course, it's been kind of a train of systems here going across Canada. And, yeah, some snow shown up into Canada as well. Leaving the rest of the country, though, high and dry. Good time to go on vacation to Florida or the Gulf Coast. Beautiful weather down there. All right, so here's the problem for this front that's going to arrive for this weekend. This is the source region. Teens, single digits, even below zero. Is it going to get that cold? No, it is not. Don't be silly. What's going to happen, though, is the cold air is going to move south, but because there is no snowpack, it's too early in the year, that cold air actually moves over the bare ground, the snowless ground. Friction is created, and the air mass modifies. So it warms as it gets closer to us. But still, to give you an idea of how fast this is moving in our direction, it's still going to provide us with some 20s and 30s this weekend. So still a cold air mass, but imagine if this was moving in January, we would see these numbers move into our backyard. But we're not this time around. So the front's going to move down Friday night. Actually, tomorrow night into Friday morning. We really won't feel the effects until Friday night into Saturday and Sunday. Now, here's the thing with the frost issue for the weekend here. We're going to have a few opportunities for frost, all right? Not only tonight's little isolated case, but Saturday morning, the models kind of disagree somewhat here on how much we are talking about for Saturday morning. If we get down to 34, there could be some patchy areas of frost. I think the winds are going to be staying up enough Saturday morning still from the front effects that it's going to be really difficult to get really cold compared to what we could be if the winds were lighter. So I think the European model of about 41 is a little closer to reality. Notice our highs for both Saturday and Sunday, very similar in both models. I mean, 50s. It's going to be a chilly weekend. Sunday morning, it looks to be coldest on the European model, 37, and that's what we're aiming for in the city. But a few spots could easily drop below 30 and 29 in the sheltered areas. So that's why I think Sunday morning is going to be the coldest morning. And then you see here as we head into Monday, it's going to be chilly still Monday. Even some patchy frost. Again, the European is a little more likely to happen than the GFS with the setup. So that's why we're leaning more toward that direction when you look at the 7-day forecast with that. And it's not going to be exact as they have it, but it's going to be close as the way we're leaning toward it based on what usually happens in these type of air masses. So a chilly weekend, no matter how you look at it. And when the system moves through, so far, the models are not spitting out any rainfall. Wouldn't rule out a few sprinkles late tomorrow night. It's probably going to be when you're sleeping, but not a big rain event with this front. So what happens after that? Well, the front moves in this weekend, as you see there. This is the GFS model. Moves on out. We warm things up again next week, back into the 70s, ahead of a cold front that's heading our way. And this front is once again going to cause another dip in the jet stream. How dramatic is a little unclear. The models, especially Canadian, really is a little more brutal with the chilly air mass here for the 22nd through the 24th. The European is not. So we'll see how this plays out with a second front for the 22nd. And then after that, as we get toward the last week heading in that direction, this is the GFS. It's indicating more of an omega block kind of a scenario that develops here, but it's highly dependent on the tropics getting involved and kind of slowing down the jet stream enough that we could see a blocking pattern. And I wouldn't rule that out. So that's why I'm showing this model verbatim versus ensembles, because I do think the tropics getting active on either ocean really, and this could be more extratropical here in the Atlantic, but either way, that could cause a blocking pattern to set up. So I would not rule out an omega block, from the Greek letter omega, setting up later this month. What that means for us, Could mean a bigger storm system that could develop, perhaps a heavier one when it comes to rainfall, and perhaps even severe weather wherever it sets up, and perhaps some cold weather on the backside. So a little more active, in other words. As we wait for the last week of October heading toward Halloween, we could have some significant weather in and around our area. And when I say significant, I mean anything from heavy rain to maybe strong storms to colder than usual weather. I'm not going to say the other word you want me to say. I'm not going to do it. But it's notorious. The last week of October for our area, past few years, has been notorious for being very active. So it is worth watching, but it is far out. So we got plenty of time to watch it. That is the good thing. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow.